Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to come on and do a another quick update on Bitcoin. Kind of been slacking. I think the last one I did was on the 21st of October, as you can see right here, and quite a bit's happened since then. Um, I really should have been on doing more of these, but was tied up on other stuff. So figured today I got the chance, so I'm going to come on and kind of recap what's happened since then. Today is October 7th. It's Saturday, and it's 4:38 in the afternoon right now. Um, Hope you all are having a good weekend so far. And anyway, this is the on the screen. This is the last update I did. Like I said, on the 21st. You can see Bitcoin was approaching this white line, which is the June 2019 high, the peak back here. And then I believe I mentioned in the update that it would be pretty important milestone for Bitcoin to be able to take out this high, top this high. Um, and here's the latest chart. This is the weekly. And you can see that Bitcoin did do that. This is the 2019 high back here, the white line. And this candle here is when I did the last update. You can see it pushed up the next week. This is the next weekly candle. It actually pushed above it, but then backed off. I think it closed right just barely under it. And then this past week, it's just really popped quite a bit. Kind of went parabolic almost, especially if you look at, like I said, this is the weekly chart. If you look at the daily, it's you can see here all these clusters of days here. It was kind of fighting with this level. The 7 EMA, the daily 7 EMA, was given some pretty good support really since back early October. It's really given it some good support, which it continues to so far. You can see this big candle here where it really pushed up. Anytime it really strays too far above or gets extended too far above, it has a tendency to either pull back, or in this case, this one here, you can see it kind of moved sideways to let the moving average catch up, and then it continued up. But like I said, there's this cluster here. Once it broke above, it really, especially this one here, which was on Friday. What's today? No, Saturday. That would have been Thursday's candle. It really took off. Went almost to 16,000. Actually, the high was 15,723, and then you can see it's really extended up at this point above the 7 EMA. The next day we got this indecision doji with a high of 15,888, so really close to 16,000. And then I was kind of figuring after seeing this doji that we might get a pullback, especially since it was so extended, or at least maybe kind of move sideways here, kind of like it did down here, letting the moving average catch up. But we did get today. We're getting a pretty decent pullback. It actually pulled under the 7 EMA by a bit, but then now has bounced back above it. So we'll have to see. It's got a little bit longer, not too much. Actually, only 17 minutes before this daily candle closes. So we'll have to see what the next daily candle, what it does if we continue dropping down, or if this 70 EMA continues to hold and Bitcoin just keeps riding it up higher. So we'll see. We'll see what happens over the next few days. Okay, so this is looking at the 4-hour chart, and you can see this is that same area where Bitcoin was fighting with this June 2019 high level, and finally pushed above it. And you can see once it did, it really took off. Kind of topped out here. I think that's still Thursday, and then has been kind of on the 4-hour. You can see here it's just kind of moving sideways, and then today we've gotten this drop off, drop down to the 50, the 4-hour 50 EMA right here, and then now it's bouncing a little bit, but it's possible it could just roll over here and drop farther. It's really not down that far right now. Let's see. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. So you can see right now, I mean, it's only like 9% drop, which really isn't much. Typically, Bitcoin during like the 2017 bull market, if anyone that's familiar with it knows this, that it had some pretty substantial pullbacks, quite a few of them actually, which you can see. I got this chart up here which kind of shows that this is the 2000. This actually goes back into 2016, and then this is all 2017 up to the all-time high, and you can see all these, 37%, 33, 39, 40, 31%, and even right up here just before the all-time high there was a 25% pullback. This one dropped, I think, from just over 17,000 where it peaked here, right on this candle here, and then dropped down to just under, I believe it was just under 13,000. So about a $4,000 drop. So 25%. But you can see there's quite a few of them here that are pretty substantial corrections. But it was still overall in this huge bull market or bull run. So got to expect these real pullbacks, real big pullbacks. And really we haven't, if I go back to the daily, we really haven't seen anything like that yet. This is the June. This is the low, the bear market, the low that was set here back in end of 2018, beginning 2019. Then we ran up here, June 2019, peaked, came back down. This is the March, the COVID crash, when the stock market and everything else crashed. And even if you look at that, so we're looking at, I mean, that was that's the last real significant drop. I mean, that was a 60% drop, so that's a real significant one. But since then, we really haven't, you can see we ran up here. There's just been these little minor pullbacks. This one's about, just a little under 20%. That one's not too bad. I mean, that's a decent little pullback. Got this one here that just happened the end of August. We had that, but even that one is, similar, I guess. It's around 18 to 19%. So similar to the one back here. But so far we haven't, in this run here since March, we haven't seen any 30 to 40% pullbacks yet. So have to keep in mind that that's always possible. If, like, from where we're at right now, a pullback, 30% pullback would bring us right down to around the $11,000 level from where we're at right now. A 40%, you'd be under 10,000, about 9,500, something in that area. So just got to keep in mind that that's possible, and it's not, doesn't mean the end of the world or the end of the bull market for Bitcoin. It's just what Bitcoin does. So and they could come at any time. This could be the start of one where we get a pretty big correction, or Bitcoin could continue. I mean, it's actually, the all-time high is right up about here, so we're not that far away. It might have a little correction here, move sideways for a while, consolidate, build a base, and then go up to test this all-time high, and then you could see a decent correction. Kind of hard to say. They could come at any time. But kind of what I'm getting at is just have to keep in mind that sooner or later probably going to get a pretty severe correction, which is a great buying opportunity. I believe that we're in the beginnings of the next bull market for Bitcoin. If it wasn't for COVID, I don't think we would have seen this massive drop here. I think that's kind of an anomaly. We were actually starting to curve back up here. If it wasn't for COVID, I'm thinking this probably would have happened a little earlier, but this just delayed it. We had this big drop, and which was, could prove to be the buying opportunity of a lifetime. Right here, we got down to near the lows from the end of the bear market, so that could turn out to be, well, it already is, really. Anybody that bought here is doing really well, or has already cashed in their profits. But if it wasn't for COVID, I think we would have been a little ahead already. But so just got to keep in mind that could have another pretty severe correction. I wouldn't say anything like this, but probably a 20, 30, 40%, which as we get those along the way, I'm going to use them to add to positions. I'd like to add some more Ethereum right now, but I'm kind of waiting because I'm going to see how this current pullback that we're seeing on Bitcoin plays out. If it turns into something a little more major, because I'd actually like to get Ethereum here. Actually, this is the Ethereum chart, and I can bring that up. This is the daily Ethereum chart. I'd like to actually, if I can, I'd like to pick it up below 400, below this level here. It'd be nice to get a pullback down to this lower trend line again, and I'd like to get some down here. So I'm trying to be patient, not just buy up here. You can see the Ethereum's kind of been in this rising channel for the last couple months, and it approached this upper trend line yesterday, or actually that would have been today, and then has pulled back. So I'm kind of hoping that it does come down near this lower trend line again before bouncing. I can add to my Ethereum position down here. So we'll see how that plays out. But like I said, I'm just going to use any pullbacks on Bitcoin to add to positions that aren't full yet. And Ethereum is one of my larger positions, but I still want more. That one, I don't consider that one to be full yet. Another one that I'm building, another position which I want to add to, is Link. But same on that, I'm kind of waiting. It had this nice spike earlier today, and then but it's pulled back. That's actually kind of an ugly candle, which kind of looks like a reversal candle. So I'm thinking maybe come down to this trend line, and I can add my Link position. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. You know, it's possible it could just move sideways here along the moving averages, but ideally I'd like to see it come down closer, like into the $10 area before I add. I think that about does it. I suppose I could look. You can see right now, actually let me bring up CoinGecko, see how the overall market, probably pretty red, just because of this morning it was I mean, pretty much everything was up, but then Bitcoin's done its pullback, so pretty much everything is following. So you can see mostly red, a few green in there, but overall most of the market's red. If you look at other than crypto, we can look at the dollar, which can have an impact on Bitcoin. You can see it's the last few days. This is the daily chart. So the last 5 days, it peaked here, and then the last 4 days, really, it's been on a pretty sharp downtrend. So we'll see if that continues. We have this August 31st low here. We'll see if it comes down and tests that low, then maybe bounces or continues lower. So we'll see what that does. Gold has been, over the last couple days, has been going higher. It's been kind of in a falling, descending wedge pattern, I guess, and then really broke out here on the 4th, then the 5th. So would it be 4th? Would be, what's today? Today's the 7th. I guess the 4th would have been, that should have been Thursday, and then Friday. Got a doji on Friday, nice big green candle on Thursday, and then kind of an indecision candle on Friday. So we'll see once trading starts again on gold where it goes from here. kind of thinking it might want to come up and test this $2,000 area again, but we'll see. Kind of indecision in the market right now with that last candle. And then the overall stock market, it's had some pretty big up days lately, especially like Wednesday was huge, had a real big up day, gapped up on Thursday, and then closed, I believe it closed, gapped up and then closed a little lower, but it's still a pretty big jump. And then Friday was green again by a little. It was pretty flat Friday, but still closed green, I believe, or pretty much flat. A lot. I mean, the election has really messed with the market a little bit. Not as bad as I thought. I was kind of wrong on how much impact it would have. Kind of the worst case scenario is playing out, but I thought it would have a much more negative impact on the stock market and possibly Bitcoin too, because basically it looks like we may be, I mean, it was a super close, pretty close election. Now there's all kinds of controversy on possible voter fraud or whatever, and there's probably going to be, it's going to move into the courts. I'm sure that it'll be challenged, the results. And that was kind of what I was thinking was the worst case scenario, where it would really upset the markets just because of all the uncertainty. But actually, the markets have been taking it a lot better than I thought. So I was definitely wrong about that. But going forward, we'll just have to see. I mean, if it really drags out, it could be a real negative for the markets. So I don't know. We'll just see how that. I hate politics, so I'm kind of glad the election's over, and hopefully it doesn't screw stuff up too bad. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Bitcoin is the big news on what it's been doing lately. I mean, huge move up. Going pretty much parabolic. Now we're getting this correction, so I'll just be watching to see how much of a correction we get, or if this is just a little pause. I mean, as of right now, it looks like the 7 EMA's holding as far as support, so I'll watch and see if it continues to, or if Bitcoin drops down to either the 21 or possibly even down to the 50 down here. So anyway, we'll see what happens. I guess that's it. Don't want to make this video too long. So like I said, I hope you all are having a real good weekend, and I'll catch you in the next update. Take care.